a few bits and pieces in it. As you can see, we started a career mode just to make sure everything was working, and therefore we're gonna pick up from there. We are live streaming, so hello everybody on Twitch, and if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the Twitch channel, Scott Gaming on Twitch, because sometimes you'll catch us live. What are we doing today? I need to check audio, so bear with me 1 second. Let's get that done. I think it sounded okay, but I'm not really sure. But I've called this stream the worst F1 team in history, and there's a reason for that. Is because we're going to start as probably the worst F1 team in history. Would be my guess. And I don't know how that's gonna play out ultimately. We're just going to see how it goes. Let's go to create a team. We'll go through as we get started. Auto save found. Create a new team. We'll overwrite it. Yeah, that's fine.
Formula One, a new season and a new dawn as a brand new team lines up on the grid. That means an even harder challenge to secure that coveted championship silverware, as the on-track action is turned right up to 11. We're ready for excitement ahead, as the teams return to the drawing board in the battle to end Red Bull's dominance. They'll need to balance their aspirations for high performance with the risk of pushing too far and inviting catastrophic failures out on the track. With many drivers on the last year of their contracts, team principals will need to ensure that they're kept in the right mindset across the whole season, as well as managing sponsor demands and protecting their most valuable assets from the prying eyes of their rivals. As a new competitor enters the fray, anything is possible. This is Formula One.
I don't think we are going to be a particularly good competitor, if I'm honest. I've got no idea if the stream is okay or if there's dodgy things going on, but I guess you guys will have to let me know if we're a little bit ropey. Looks like we may have crashed. Have we crashed? Bear with. I mean, I think it's okay. I'm not really 100% sure. I think it might be Twitch doing something a bit weird. Close that. Okay, right. Our team. So I've done a few things, right? I'm going to skip past this and we're going to come back. So our story, we've got a few options here. Like, we can live the definitive Formula One fantasy and create your own team, lead them to victory. We can then choose from one of these categories. So this one here is going to give us a starting balance of 30 million, and I can freely choose the quality of our cars, drivers, facilities, etc. Right? And this is what I think I'm going to do, and we're going to start right at the very bottom of the pile. But we have other options. We could come here, which is there's a maverick entrepreneur distributing industries around the world, and they have now turned their attention to Formula One. Just like in business, they intend to win at all costs. So we get 20 million cap, but we start with some things that you can see here, our car facilities, etc. Down here, we can see that they all start a little bit better. Whereas if we go to this one, you can see our car's really good, but staff are really good, but everything else is a bit average, vice versa. So there's a few of these, but I think we're going to start at the very beginning. So we're going to move past this page and we'll come back to it. Okay, next up we have our starting balance. Now, you know, it would be silly if we gave ourselves a huge amount of money. Starting with the minimum amount of money maybe seems like a bit of a nightmare, but facilities, we are going to bring this down, and if we wanted to, we could come in here and we can remove everything. We can come in here and we can make sure that we have nothing, which is what I think we're going to do. I can't get rid of these, but I guess we start here. We start with absolutely nothing, which is going to mean for the first season or two, we've got nothing to be able to do. And our car performance is going to be absolutely shocking, right? I think that's what we have to start with. Okay, next step. We get to choose our drivers. Now, you can see this is giving us some young drivers. It's giving us some staff. I think if we're going to continue this through, we need to start with the absolute worst drivers we can find. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to rating equals 1 star. And I'm going to go to generated only. So let's have a little look at what we've got. 59s here, Zimmerman. 56, 53. Alexander Beach. You're in, Alexander. Well done. And then we got 55, a 56, a 57. Let's pick someone slightly better than that. Let's go with someone's name I can pronounce. Let's go with Ulla Jensen. How about Ulla over here? Ulla Jensen is in. I think Ulla Jensen's in. Yeah, Ulla, you're in. Congratulations. There's our drivers sorted, right? So that's these guys. Then we're going to come over here and remove our staff. So we're going to do the same thing. Generated only and the worst we can find. Okay, who's the worst? Xing Pan over here. Congratulations, you got the job as technical chief. Head of aerodynamics. Well, that's Tiago Borgius. I think I nailed that one. We got some better sporting directors at least. Hartman, congratulations. And then we've got these two. These are the only two. So you're in. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're in for the role. Congratulations. And that's that, right? Next up, we get to choose our powertrain. Now we could be Ferrari, Honda, Mercedes. Now what's interesting is the team I'm thinking about being is maybe Triumph. Now Triumph were an old British car manufacturer that didn't really. I mean, they sold cars in the UK, but what happened is a lot of American servicemen came over to the UK, saw the UK sports cars, and started buying them in the States. So they were actually a little bit more popular in the States than they were in the UK. And then when nationalisation of the automotive industry came along, they kind of fell into disrepair. They're currently owned by BMW, I think. They haven't produced any cars, but I think they might be. I might be making this up, but I think they're owned by BMW. So I wonder if we go Mercedes because they're German. I know what I'm talking about, all right? Okay. And then I've already made a logo. It's a pretty good one. I think you're going to be impressed. How do I load it? Over here. I think you're going to be impressed by it. There it is. That's pretty good, right? I did make this MG one as well, but I think we'll go Triumph. And then I've already made a car, but I'll just show you what this looks like. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'll show you the whole thing. I'm a little bit disappointed by all of it. So I was able to make that Triumph logo in this. What you can do is you can come and you can choose any of these assets. There's not a huge amount of assets considering 4 of these pages are text. There's not a massive amount. But you can get sort of half circles and you can convert them into other things and make other things and eventually end up with something that looks okay. But it's a lot of effort. And it's not, considering because it's on console and all of those things as well, it's a bit of a faff messing around with it on PC because it's built for also using controllers and stuff. So it's not great. So that's that. So let's make sure we've got our logo. And if we come to the cars, if we were to come over here and go to new, you can see you can't really design your own livery. You can just come in here and choose the ones that exist. So you can see here we've got these versions. We can click on these and it changes. And if we want to, we can come over here. We can change the type of paint. So metallic, matte, gloss, satin, carbon fiber. We can change the color if we wanted to. So obviously we could come over here and change some of these to a nice lime green color. And so you can end up making some okay cars. Last one is decals. You won't need to do that until you get some sponsors in the game. We don't have any sponsors, so you know, there's that. So from there, let's leave this one. I have already, there's some preset ones. There's some quite nice ones in here actually. If we have a look at some of them, you can see there's quite a few in here that are pretty nice to look at. There you go. Look at them all. And if we come right down the bottom here, there is a somewhere down here. Some of these are really quite nice. If we come further down here, there is a Twitch one, which is pretty nice as well. And because we've already done this, we've got a black and gold car because, well, we're black and gold. There's our logo at the front here, so you can see the Triumph logo here. And we just need to choose what one we're going to use. This one's more black and yellow than it is black and gold. This one I quite like. So I think the difference between these is this one's matte paint, whereas this one's kind of a matte paint with metallic stripes. So I think let's choose this one. And then I'm just going to edit because I'm not sure I'm sold on the matte paint. I think we go gloss, right? The metallic is quite nice. What's the difference here between metallic and gloss? Maybe we go gloss. Maybe we go gloss and we go metallic for the metal gold trim. Love that. And then you can also update your tires. So if I just save this and come back here, if we go back to if I go here and go to edit, in here you can also choose different sort of rims or covers for the tires. I'm sure they've got a better name than that, but you can come in and you can choose those. I think we'll choose these ones. That's fine. So this is our car. So we need to go back and we need to change our name. You can also update your driver's suits. Again, not really a great deal of ones to choose from. You know, this one is very purple. You know, they're all a bit average, really. And if we come out of here and go to just apply this one, go to edit, there's only a handful of designs. Not that there's that many you can do with your suits, but I have to say they're it's very bare bones in terms of they've bowed to the pressure of putting in a create your own team thing, but they haven't really done much with it. Okay, let's change the colors here. Let's go black and a gold color. I like this because gold in this looks very yellow, in all honesty. Let's just add that down there. We'll add a little bit more gold. Perfect. Let's also sort our helmet, which is yellow, right? That's a yellow helmet. It's not gold at all. So let's go. What's happening here? That's not black, is it? Okay, there we go. Right. And then we'll put this gold trim. Right. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but you know what I mean. So this is us. We need to come all the way back to the beginning because we need to change our name. There we go. Triumph Racing. And then I think we can skip through these. The only question, and I'm tempted to say, although we're starting with the bare bones, I'm tempted to say let's give ourselves 5 million because 2 million isn't a lot in the racing world, and we're going to have such a bad car that every single race, regardless, we're going to finish last. So, you know, we've got to give ourselves something to be able to work. We've got to change our drivers again, so hold on. So we want to go generated only. Let's go all the way to the end. Let's choose you. Congratulations. And then who do we have before? You know what? I'm just going to go for someone who's cheap. Let's go for Hoffman over here. Congratulations. You're only £1 million. Okay, great. And then we have to choose our staff. And again, we want to go generated. The worst of the worst. Who's the cheapest over here? Congratulations, Pan. You're in. You have the job. You have the job. And you and you. Amazing. We chose Mercedes. Driver suit and all of that. We've done all of those things. Our logo is there and there. Perfect. And now we have to choose our driver name. Let's just come and do that. Let's go. Scott. Doggle. Scott Doggle. I'm going to turn this off. We might need it, but I'm going to turn it off because we played quite a lot of this game. I didn't play much last year. We played quite a lot of this game, and they're a bit annoying, the pop-ups. They don't really go into enough detail, so I think we're fine. We'll leave it as standard development. We are good to go. Here we go, everybody. Okay. Right. So this is us. This is Triumph Racing. Look at the logo in all its glory. We can go and have a look at the board. Team rating is a measure of how well the team is doing. How do we see what they're expecting us to finish 9th or above? Now there's 12 teams. There's no way that's going to happen, right? We are the worst team in history. I suspect if we go and look at our car, you can see here our car is 21st and 22nd on the grid. The other concern I've got is we just don't have a lot of money, and sometimes, so you're going to see up in a few days time, we're going to have to choose our sponsorships. They want us to perform. They want draw from our drivers. They want all sorts of things to be able to make us good. So I'm going to come over and we're going to look at our options to build things. I'm going to immediately build a team hub. It's going to cost us 800,000. It's going to be done. I didn't see when it was going to be done. Hopefully soon. I'm not going to build a race simulator. I'm going to build a boardroom for another 400 grand. Hospitality area, £1 million. I think we'll have to hold off on that, but we might build a heliport. All of these things are going to cost us maintenance fees. We're going to have to try and keep on top of that. I'm also going to build a helipad. I feel like the tour center is a little bit of a step too far, but I'm going to build a tour center as well. Okay. So now at least we're going to have some stuff where people can benefit. But all of these other things, if we wanted to build them, ridiculous money. Yeah, absolutely insane money, this stuff. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Okay. So that's going to happen. Let's go and take a look at some of our inbox here. So this is Edward Humphreys. It's very exciting to have you on board. We look forward to taking the season under your leadership. Okay. And then we've got coming up some of these things being built. We've got to figure out our sponsorships, and then we've got the first race almost immediately. We could come over and start designing our car parts. Now, my gut feeling with this is we're going to have to do it we can only do it one way, right? We're going to have to work on one car being improved, whereas the other car isn't. And equally, we're going to have to focus on probably lifetime of a part rather than how good it is at a certain thing. Because we're not going to be able to afford to keep replacing these. If we have lots of crashes, we're going to be bust. We're not going to have any money. So what I mean by that is when you come and design a new part, let's say we design a new chassis, for example, we can see here that we can put some time into it. We can see the maximum lifespan, which is 6 to 11 races. If we come over here and let's say we put some time into this. So let's say we put, I don't know, 6 hours. Let's put all of our hours in and all of our time in over here. Right, so we're putting the most effort into one part. We then go to next. We have this option down here. So you can see this maximum lifestyle is 6 to 11, whereas if we up this, it can go to 8 to 14 races. Now, obviously someone could crash in that period of time and write off the chassis. We can have all sorts of problems, but each time we need to replace this is going to cost us money. However, an extra 5 kilograms weight. We really want to be down here, but as you can see, this is only going to last 4 to 8 races. So the question for us is, do we think our drivers are good enough to not crash the car? My feeling is for 6 to 11 races, probably not. So I'm going to go 6 to 10. I've changed my mind almost entirely. Chassis paneling creates a small amount of drag. So focusing here means reducing the effect of drag while minimizing losses in other areas. So we can kind of boost our top speed by losing some other bits and pieces. I do wonder if engine cooling might be a good option. Aero performance in favor of better engine cooling. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure that's that wise either. DRS delta. We can bring this up or down. I doubt we're going to be close enough to anyone to make a difference, in all honesty. I wonder if we just go flat out top speed, because the thing with DRS is you have to be within a certain amount of time with the car in front to be able to use it, right? Engine cooling. I'm just going to bring this down so it equals back to where it was, and then middle airflow. Now, this is kind of improving us everywhere except for DRS improving. I would really like to see this go up 1 kph, but you know what? We'll go somewhere here. This seems fine, right? Okay. So we can put a number of engineers on it. Let's say 6. Let's say all of or as many engineers as we can. We can say whether this is rushed or intense. I think let's just say normal. If we say intense, we spend more money on it, but we gain more knowledge. Don't think we've got the ability to do that. We also don't really have the funds. We've spent a load of money already. But this is going to mean we can start work on it as soon as possible. It's going to be ready in 22 days, which is probably the 3rd race in. And then we've got to manufacture it. So I think this is fine. I mean, I'm not sure about our settings here. I can't go back. I'm not sure about our settings, but let's do it. Let's get underway. Perfect. Now we could design a second project. It's going to cost us money. We don't have any time or engineers to put against it. Look, if we don't change anything, we do get some gains. So having a second project underway, but if we go all the way to the end of this without changing anything, or no, let's just say we put all of this up to maximum, or this down and this up, or whatever the case may be, it doesn't really matter. You know, we are going to see some gains, but it's going to cost us 1.8 million, not including the engineering for something that isn't giving us huge increases. So my feeling is let's just focus on one part, a window, trying to improve it as best we can. And we're not going to be great at it because we don't have great facilities to improve those things. So we're going to struggle anyway. Okay. We could manufacture some stuff. You can see how many we've got in here. But my feeling is once we get to a place where we've got parts for our car, we're going to have one car using stock parts, the other one using new parts. Is there anything else we need to do? We can come and look at our drivers and we can see that morale and linkages is pretty crap everywhere. Mostly negative, mostly because of car performance. That is not going to change anytime soon. We do have all sorts of other things. We've got affiliates, and what's interesting about these affiliates is they're better than our actual drivers. I can't bump these up to number 1 drivers. We could look at contracts and all of those things. I'm not gonna do any of that. We, I think, are just gonna come and hit continue, and we're just gonna see how this plays out. Okay, so we've completed the Geli pad. We completed the memorabilia room. So now we can upgrade and stuff. But as you can see here now, we're starting to get a team marketability, team attractiveness, which I'm hoping will help us. We're also getting an extra 1% team payout, which is quite a lot over 20 million or whatever they might well be. So they're all pretty useful. Let's go to our inbox. What have we got? Welcome. We've got key staff. That tells us about those. We've got the info about the new season coming up, and then details. You can see here we do have now costs outgoing as well. Okay, helipad construction complete. To sponsorship negotiation. I was hoping we'd get this towards the end. We don't. So here's what we get: guaranteed funding. Now we get 19 million for our core. However, we get 2.9 million for this one, APTRD, and we get again race day funding. So we have to go for this one, which is the upfront money, because we know our race day is going to be poor and our engagement is going to be poor because we don't have particularly good drivers. So we are going to come over here and no optional sponsorship effects, but we're going to take the one that's going to give us the most money up front. And then we get to choose additional sponsors. So it doesn't really matter who we're putting on here because we're going to put them all on, right? They're all going to give us money and that's all we care about. We will sell out to anyone. But we can't put another one on. We don't have any appeal for the extra one. But as you can see, that's going to give us 28 million up front. And then potentially, if we can hit engagement targets and stuff, we're going to get more money. Not a lot of money for us, but it's some money. Now, we can come over to here. We can edit this, and we can edit these, and we can change these things. I have to say, I don't like them. I like them if we convert them down to these things. But we just need to reduce the size of some of them, make sure they're fitting on the car a little bit better. What's this one? This one here. I think we're going to change all of these where they can be to be like white. That sounded wrong, but what I mean is I think we're going to make them sort of one tone because I think it does look better on the car. And it's like this one. This one is terrible, right? Why would anyone want their sponsor there where you can't actually read it? Perfect. Okay. These ones will change as well to this. I think that's fine. What's next? This Henrik one, I think we just need to move it a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so that's everything on the front wing. I'm just going to save this. Hold on, do I need to? I don't know if I need to save it. I'm just going to save it anyway. Now we're doing these ones. So down here, this one hopefully will look better. All white, it does. And we can move this one as well. So it's not over those two things. I like that. Hopefully we don't have to do the other side. I genuinely don't know. Oh, I chose the wrong one. No, I think this needs to be much smaller. So it's just on the... That'll do. I don't mind that. Okay. That one I don't mind. Okay, good. Electrolyte energy. This one is a weird one. Let's first things first. Let's make it that and then move it. I don't know if I like it. We'll do that. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, there's no more there. And then we've got these ones. I don't know if I mind this. We'll just make it that as well. And this one will do the same thing. You can stay there. Is there any more? No. And then finally the rear wing. Okay, where are you? On the side here. Might just move you up a little bit. Perfect. And then this one on the back. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, and then perfect. I think that's all of them. That's all of our sponsors. I feel we look a lot nicer with everything being kind of one color. Okay, I think we're good. Let's just save this. Can I save this over the one I just saved? I suspect so. Perfect. And I'm going to leave the suits. They're okay having those coloured, right? Okay. So that's that done. Sponsor plan. Now, this is where we can... my wind tunnel will be loaned out to sponsors. Have I got a wind tunnel? I don't know if I have. So we're going to get a mandatory 8.2 mil, but we can see if we can put enough things in here, activities in here, to reach this limit. It's not looking fantastic. Oh, it's going to be close. Just about. So we're doing a load of things. Our drivers and staff are going to be really busy, but that's going to get us some extra funding, and we need it. So that's all fine by me. I don't mind it because we're not looking for these guys to improve. They're not great as it is, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what race we've got coming up because our cars are not good enough. We don't need to worry about any of these things. Do we want to buy anything new? Possibly not. Let's go and hit continue. Okay, shame some of these things didn't come on board earlier because they might have helped a little bit. If we go to facilities now, what did we just build? We built a boardroom, which helps with race confidence and some more marketability, which would have been nice. Okay. Bahrain testing is behind us. We know where our car stands. I think what they're telling us is it's crap. As it turns out, I think they're saying, you know, that car we've got, terrible, don't drive it. It's a death trap. Okay. Race at the Bahrain Grand Prix is almost here. I want to make sure the team is prepared. Yeah, this is the thing, right? This is telling us it's a power circuit. Our car isn't well suited. We're going to see that a lot. These are stock cars. We're going to have to choose our race targets. Our race targets are going to be to finish above last because there's no way we're finishing any of these. What I will say this year there is car breakdowns or mechanical failures, which is quite nice. Not for your car if it breaks down. I'm sure ours will. But it just means we have an opportunity of finishing higher up the grid.
A new season is upon us as Formula One returns to the Middle East, ready to kick things off here in Bahrain. But change is afoot. The paddock has grown, the grid extended. Yes, that's right. 11 teams, 22 drivers, and the hottest competition motorsport has to offer. And keep an eye out for a new face this weekend as we prepare to see a debutant take to the track. Now let's crack on with the weekend.
Well, let's crack on with the weekend. I don't know whether we're going to skip some of these because you can full sim. But I think for the first one, we'll do the race. But I think depending on how many times we get overtaken is where we will make the decision. So we're going to send our guys out to do some laps. They're going to do the car setup. They're going to see how we fit this stuff. I'm sure if you've seen any previous versions of this game, you will be familiar with this. Again, doesn't really matter too much to us. But we're going to do the first set of practice and all of those things. Just going to up this to 20 laps. We probably won't be out for 20 laps, but it doesn't really matter. All we're trying to do in this one is see if we can set our car up in such a way that we can get a good feel for the car for our drivers. This is it. We'll go and we'll manage the session and we'll hit confirm. Here we go. Okay. Race has begun, or practice has begun. 14 minutes 30 on the clock. Here's our first look at our car in all of its glory. Doesn't look like any of the changes I made saved, which is interesting. I don't know if that's something I did or if it's a bug or what. We'll have a look at that a bit later. But there it is. Look at it. Look how lovely it looks. I don't like all of the different colours on there. I will say that. But our car is out and it's doing its thing. I have to say, I'm not sure I've seen much changes to this game from the last, other than mechanical failures and the creator team. It looks very similar to last year. It feels very similar to last year. It'll be interesting to know how much other new stuff we come across. But what I find interesting about it is it doesn't feel like it's really pushing. I didn't know we took that corner very well. It doesn't look like it's pushing the boundaries of simulation and managerial games. You know, when you look at Football Manager versus an F1 Manager, it doesn't feel like there's a huge amount there to do. Let's have a little look at Hoffman. How's Hoffman doing? About to get overtaken by what I presume is a Mercedes behind us. There's Sauber, sponsored by Kick. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention their name while we're streaming on Twitch. I don't know if I necessarily know all of these drivers. Probably though, right? I don't think there's a huge amount of change in Formula 1 drivers over the years. I think once you're a Formula 1 driver, you generally stay a Formula 1 driver, even if you're terrible. Okay. Well, look, let's speed this up, because all we're trying to do in this situation is get to grips with our car and figure out how good or bad it is. We've got these numbers here. These numbers mean our kind of our climatization to the track, our knowledge of the track, and then our feedback on the car setup. So as we go, these things will increase, and as they increase, we'll be able to then tweak our car to go from there. We are slowest by 6 seconds, 6 seconds behind Ferrari. I mean, that's not ideal. We did put a load of fuel in the car, so it doesn't really matter too much. And again, we're on hard tyres, they're on softs, etc. So, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it's not amazing. And I suspect because we've got crap drivers, we're going to have rubbish feedback in terms of our assets in the car. We're about to be overtaken. Is Beach. 3 of 5 feedback, 2 of 5 feedback over here. And we are considerably slower than pretty much everybody on the grid, as you can see. Okay, 4 of 5. Come on then. How's the car feeling, mate? Is the question. Pretty good to me. Okay. Interesting. So we can come in, and this is where we get to see the feedback of the car, and we can reconfigure it. So we can bring this back down here, knowing that it's good. I often find myself messing around with these for hours because I don't really understand what affects what. As you can see, we can get these into certain areas that look like they're going to help. Wouldn't mind moving that traction one a little bit more. Okay, let's try this. So they're going to mess around with the car. It's going to take a load of time. And then we'll be able to bring the car back in and go from there. Okay, you're done. Let's call you in. There's no voice lines for our people, so it doesn't really help us. How do you feel about the car? You don't like it very much, I hear. Okay, well, you really need to go down that way a bit, right? Okay, well, let's try this. I don't think it's going to matter too much. You're ready to go out again? And you're about to do this. I doubt we'll get all of our feedback in 30 minutes, but... Oh. I just spun. That's not ideal, mate.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Let's have a little look at what he did. Just, yeah, catching the curb and spinning out, going all over the gravel. Love that. Just what we wanted. Okay, we'll speed this up again. We don't need to watch this. And we can send you out as well. So they're both out there doing their thing. And we'll see what feedback we get in the next 25 minutes or so. But as you can see, we are so much slower than every other car on the grid. Yeah, and that's not going to change in Season 1. I doubt it's going to change in Season 2, if I'm honest with you. Which is why we might spend a load of time kind of simulating the first races of the season to see if we get any improvements. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure who is expected to be the second worst car on the grid. We'll go and find that out because that's obviously the only thing that we need to put our test against. Equally, our drivers are terrible, our staff are terrible, our facilities are terrible. There is nothing good here at Triumph, and that's what we're changing. That's why I like the idea of it. It's set up to be such a tough task. So let's see how we get on. Wonder how our tyres are. 33%, not ideal, but we can call you in somehow. I can't remember how. There we go. You've got to 5 feedback. It's annoying that they don't tell us. I guess there's the plus point of having non-generated staff because they have a voice line. Okay. So we can come and have a little look here. This isn't great, but everything else is pretty good. This doesn't matter because we're not going to fix this in time, but I guess I need to bring you this way, bring you down here a bit. I can't move that bottom one, I don't think. There we go. Doesn't feel quite right. There we go, that might... That might be better. I can't do this. I need to change the tyres. Let's stick you on some softs, I guess. Don't know if it matters. Again, we don't need to do this now. We could do this between the races because I doubt we're not going to get the work done and send them out. Let's put you on some softs and have a little look at your setup. Okay. Some changes to be made. I'm not a fan of this bit, if I'm honest. I mean, I get why it's in the game. I just don't find it that enjoyable. Okay, I think that's us. There we go. So these guys are going to change the car. We're not going to get done before the end of the session, so there's no point in us doing anything. And there we go. Session is complete. These guys are still doing laps. Considerably slower than everybody else on the grid. As you can see here, 1.5 seconds slower than Williams. Oof, rough. Okay, car preparation, drive preparation, save 15%. Car parts knowledge 26%. You know, it's not amazing. But session 2 is upon us. We can send them out on mediums. I guess we'll do that. We'll leave it to 15. You know what? I'm just going to bump this up to like 17 laps. Because I just don't want to run out of fuel when we're getting close to the feedback. We don't need to change anything else. We're untested in our setup. We'll do this session as well. I'm going to do all of the sessions, and then from next race, we'll figure out what we're doing. Okay. There goes Beach. I give it just a few seconds because I'm always worried about R2 drivers driving into each other. Don't mind if they drive into somebody else, but driving into each other is like the worst thing that can happen, right? Okay, let's get this started and see how we look. Look at that, we're quickest. We are the quickest. Oh. Oh. We are not a good racing team. Who'd have thought? Who would have thought? Okay, we're at 2 of 5. Do we ever see any purples? Oh, hold on, look. Look at this. Sonoda must have crashed. Oh, there we go, back to normal. Perez is below us for now. There we go. Okay. 3 of 5. Round to Gasly. I wonder if Gasly just came out and did a warm-up sort of lap, or an out lap, or an in lap, or whatever they're called. Right. We're going to hopefully get this feedback in a second. And as soon as we get it, we can call them in. Both are a 4 or 5 right now. Okay, so you're happy. The car feels great. Well, you may as well come in then. Interesting, we got the feedback quicker with you than we did Beach. And he's happy as well. Nice. Let's get these guys in. Let's have a little look. What have we got? Optimal, optimal. So there's a little bit of tweaking we can do, right? Don't know if we want to, but there's a little bit of tweaking we can do. I just don't know how we improve on that bit there. So, you know, without changing too much. Okay. Guess we can go with this and just see. See if it's any better. It probably isn't, but... Oh, you know what? I didn't change the tyres. Okay, great all round. Nice. Okay. Oh, this doesn't feel great. I often find I mess around with this and then I find it impossible to get back to where I was, and I have to go back and do a revert. Like now, I'm so far away from where I need to be. Okay, let's just tweak a few things. So moving this one slightly only moves this one out. So if we then... Okay, let's try this. Got to do the tyres. Okay, we'll just do that and see how we look. I'm not sure we're going to be being any quicker, but okay, let's put you out on some soft, shall we? You know, we've got some of the mediums left. That's fine. We'll send you out on those. There you go. Going to assume your mediums are okay-ish as well. 56%, not amazing. We'll bring you in when they get down to about 30. We are the only people whose lap begins with a 1.4. Okay, good. Good. How are the tyres looking? 48%. And what I suspect is going to be the case, in most races we're going to be better trying to do one stoppers than multiple stoppers, because our pit crew is going to be crap as well. We'll call you in. We're going to change your tyres. We'll call you in as well because we're going to change your tyres. Probably not going to get the opportunity to do much in the next one, but let's just put you on some softs, I guess. Out you go, and we'll do the same thing for you. Don't know why I never use the first set. I always use the last set. Don't know why that is. Okay, this is where we're going to see those storming laps, right? Look at us go. 138.6. That's huge. 136. We're quicker than some cars. Not a lot. Okay, well, that's us done. We're at 4 or 5 feedback. You're at full feedback, actually, so that's fine. We'll be able to tell if this is any better or worse than the last one. Our best lap was 136.8. Yours was 136. I mean, they're still slower than everybody else. But at least it starts with the same 3 numbers at the beginning. What have we got? Setup satisfaction, 92% and 96%. Love that. Love that. Okay, we're into qualifying. We're not going to have to... Oh, no, we're into practice 3. We're not really going to have to worry about it. I'm going to keep this set, I think. I think I'm... You know what? You're at 92%, right? And you've got all of your feedback. What was the last feedback? Is there a way of seeing what the highest was? I think we just leave you, right? And you're at... Hold on. Did you get all of your feedback? You did. Did you get all of your feedback? I feel like someone didn't get all of their feedback, but maybe they did. You know what? I think I'm just going to send you out on softs for like a run around, and then, you know, maybe for like 7 laps or something. And we'll just see how we do. You know, we don't need to be out for very long. We've got all of the feedback we need. It doesn't really matter. Off you go. See if you can stay in front of Hamilton. Okay, we're 4 seconds slower than Hamilton. So really in this instance, we're just trying to get up our knowledge here, our track knowledge. But I don't think it matters too much. We don't really want to run the engine down and all of those things too much. There we go, you're in. There's no point us changing anything. We didn't really change anything. The only thing we might want to change is engines, I guess, but you're about to come in as well. Wherever you are, there you are. Okay, let's have a little look. Our last lap was 141, where they were the in laps, right? So we're not going to know. Okay, we're not going to do anything else, I think, for this race. Or this practice. We could go out and try and improve our knowledge on these parts and tracks, but I don't think it matters too much. I mean, obviously having better knowledge of the track is nice, but I don't think it's going to make or break our season, considering we're going to finish last anyway. Yeah, there is nothing we can do to beat other cars in this unless they break, essentially. Okay. Now almost done. No, we're halfway through. This was an error. It still annoys me that I don't think there's a way to sim to the end of the session, which would make the most sense, right? Here's the lap history. It's been a spin. So let's have a look at Albon's laps versus ours. So 134 in here. Ours are 136.45. 135 being the fastest here. And again, we don't know what their tyres they were on or anything else. Okay. We are looking for about 10 cars to crash in this one, not including R2. Even then, we'd finish outside of the points, right? Because there's extra cars. Okay. Last 10 minutes of this. Okay, let's just wait for this to finish. Almost done. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so the fastest lap was a 132.9 and our fastest lap was a 136. Ugh. Even the slowest car is about a second in it. Rightio. Okay. That's not horrendous. A bit of confidence going into this.
Our weekend continues with qualifying, as the drivers fight it out for a strong grid position.
Bahrain's track is dusty and abrasive, and even under the floodlights, qualifying is tough on soft tyres. Teams will need to use their tyre allocations wisely.
If we turn our attention to Pierre Gasly for a minute, Karun, how's he going to be feeling as qualifying approaches?
Looking at the lap times, we saw a real lack of pace from them in practice. They never looked quite comfortable with the setup, and they'll need to try something new for qualifying if they want to get past Q1.
And you're right. Well, it's nearly time for qualifying.
Okay, qualifying time. Partially cloudy. We're only going to be in qualifying one. It makes no difference to us. Let's go and put our... Oh, we can't put our used softs on. So let's just put our softs on, which we've already got. We do one flying lap. Let's manage the session, but essentially we're going to do one lap at the start. We're going to do one lap at the end. That's going to be it. We are underway. I'm going to send you out. Give it a few seconds. And I'm going to send you out. And I guess we'll do what we always used to do, right? On board. We'll do the flying. Well, no, we'll do the actual lap rather than this, right? Let's get them round. And then we'll slow it down once they get out here. Here we go. I think there's someone coming out of the pits. Question is, are they coming out of the pits right in front of us to ruin this lap? Not that it's going to make any difference, but here we go. Someone is weaving about in front of us. Get out of the damn way. Thank you. That was a McLaren. I don't know which one. Okay. How was that not our fastest sector? Right. We did a faster sector on our out lap for sector 1. That makes no sense. Okay. How does it look, I wonder? A 133, okay. Bearing in mind we only had enough fuel to do 3 laps. How are you getting on, Hoffman? Another 133, and you were far quicker. 2 purples. Love that. Okay, let's let this happen and we'll bring them in. And I guess it makes sense since we're not going to have to use our... That's fine. We'll do this. We'll put them on another set of good softs. Is there like penalties if you don't... If let's say you put enough fuel to get 2 laps in. So you go round once on your out lap and then you do your fast lap and then you run out of fuel on the lap you're meant to be coming back in. They're like penalties for it. There must be, right? Otherwise you can just cheat. Just put less fuel in your car to make you go quicker. Did I miss our out lap? I might have missed our out lap. Hold on. I think we're okay. This is the flying lap, right? We did not qualify. I didn't see the times. I was distracted thinking about cheating. Okay. Our fastest lap, 132.5, which is slower than the Sauber. 133.8, which is far slower than everybody. Ouch. And we didn't get out of the qualifying. Okay. I mean, what can you do, hey? So the fastest lap was a 129.5. by Max Verstappen, and now it's race time.
Here in Sakhir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit.
Bahrain has seen some of the most dramatic races in F1, like Sergio Perez's incredible 2020 victory, surging ahead from being last on the opening lap.
Bahrain International Circuit was Formula One's first venue in the Middle East, and is still a calendar favourite. Dusty and challenging, this desert track is a real test of endurance for teams and for drivers. It's race day, and final preparations are underway.
Okay, here we go. Triumph's first ever race. Now, I don't know. I haven't checked anything about the weather. Okay, so we need to choose our strategy and everything else. Is there any way we can see about the weather? We don't have a weather thing, so I don't know how we know if it's going to rain or not. There is a thing, right, somewhere that tells us some of this stuff. I thought it might have been reports. They give clear skies. I mean, we are in Bahrain, so probably nothing to worry about from a weather point of view. So you can see here we're going softs and then mediums for both drivers. I'm not sure that's necessarily what we're looking for. I don't know what we're going to do instead, but okay, let's try hards. Let's try and change this strategy. If we were to add a new one, let's get rid of you, put you on hard tires, and then add a medium, and then add a softs at the end, right? Perfect. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there somewhere, so that's fine. Okay, so you're on that one, and then you... Should we stick with something like this? I wouldn't mind just... Why is this much slower? Mind doing that a little bit, just so we're coming in early. So your race is supposedly 1:28.32. Your race is 1:28.15. Okay. This is us, right? I think. So I can't change the engine or anything if I want. Oh, I can. Can I? Is that going to cause me a penalty? Hold on. Is that a penalty? Once a car goes on track during Q1, a car park can only be replaced by design of the same part. Oh, okay, fine. So I can change these engines to these engines, and I'm never going to remember to do this, but it kind of makes sense to do this, right? So we're not using the same thing in, we're only using the good parts in races. I'm never going to remember to change these, just so we all know. But whilst I do remember, let's do it now. Okay, that's us, I think. We've got some two stops to strategies. We're good to go. Our first ever race. I hope you're as excited as I am for us to finish last quite considerably.
Formula One, as 11 teams line up on the grid. This could be an important race today for Lance Stroll.
Fighting for points is definitely possible from P8. The team just needs to get their strategy right.
Here we go. It's time to go racing.
Okay,
This is it.
time to go racing.
22
I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed that there aren't a few things that they could have done. I feel like there's a few things they could have done in this game.
And away we
Like,
go.
for example, they could have had a camera that focused on the exciting stuff that's happening in the race. I think that would have been good. So we're going to watch Hoffman here because she's in front. The world's slowest first corner. I don't feel there's enough carnage in the first corner still. And we'll leave our ERS as is. And we're already quite a distance behind. Okay, this is us settled in for the race. Look. Look at the sparks. Good God, we're slow. Does anyone else notice how slow we are? Let's get you to deploy and see if it makes any difference to close any of this gap. How far behind? We're 1.77 seconds behind Joe. And I don't think there's going to be much to talk about because this is the race, right? Unless we have some crashes or some instance, this is us. The only thing that's going to happen to us is we're going to get overtaken at some point. I mean, we are now 2 seconds behind. And the gap is well and truly getting larger. Oh, hold on. 1.8. 1.7. Have a little look at this. We will speed this up instead. We won't watch the whole race at this speed because there's not a lot. We're not going to close the gap or anything. This is it. We're 4.5 seconds behind. We are on hard tyres, right? So we know why we've got a crap car and we're on hard tyres. But I think with that being the case, we're now on lap 3. I feel like we can speed this up, right? There's not anything that's going to happen. All we're going to see is this gap get bigger until we get down to time for a pit stop or something else. Sainz is in the lead. Verstappen has taken the lead back. What just happened? Oh, how come we've caught up with you? Oh, right, because we've used all of this. I see. We used it all up at exactly the wrong moment, right? And I guess because we're on softs and you're on mediums. Interesting. He must have spun out or something, right? Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, the gap is getting larger again now. We can't use this, to be fair. Really need to make sure we're in distance so we can use DRS at the right times as well. Which we are not. I mean, you're saving it for battles, which isn't really going to help us. It seems weird that they wouldn't have been able just to put in any kind of voice for these drivers. Doesn't matter if they're like one generic male voice and one generic female voice. Just seems laziness. I know they recorded a load of voice lines with drivers and the radio operators and all of those things, but okay, look, that little bit of excitement is done. Let's keep going. Our tyres looking pretty much as expected. How far he is behind. Good Lord. We should have guessed at what lap it was going to be before we got lapped. Okay, lap 10 we're on. We'll push a little bit just to use this fuel. It's not going to make much difference. Probably could have done that right at the beginning, to be fair. Our pit window is entered over here. We obviously don't want to come into the pits just yet. We want to keep going until we get to this blue line, so we'll keep going from here. Gasly has a mechanical fault. Hold on. This could be what we were looking for.
Anti-deploy didn't work.
Well, what's wrong? I mean, telling us there's a mechanical fault without telling us what the mechanical fault is seems a bit silly. Okay, let's put us on these tyres. And speed this up a little bit.
Oh dear, that's not a good
Pit stop issue for Gasly. Gasly is doing his best to help us right now. Oh, tyre, the wheel thingy got jammed. That is unfortunate. What's it called? A bolt gun. I don't know. What is it called? Our 10th fastest pit stop. Good work, fellas. What am I still looking at this for? Okay, good. We have been lapped. We've unlapped ourselves, maybe. Oh, we've been lapped again. Oh, hold on. Something's happening. Perez with the fastest lap. Could really do with Gasly's car braking. Okay, we're going on to mediums. Okay, let's speed this up because there's nothing to watch about us going into the pit, really. Verstappen with the fastest lap. How bad is it, I wonder? I mean, I think it's pretty bad, in all honesty. Okay. Good. I don't know if there's any point in pushing, right? Because we're only going to hurt our engine. It's not going to like it's going to make us any time. We've been lapped by this car in 13th place. Oh, hold on. Been a crash. Several cars have been involved. Looks like 2 cars have been involved.
Tries to get by.
It's Lance Stroll.
And the impact on the car, it's quite clear.
Oh.
Teams will no doubt be very keen to establish the full extent of the damage.
I mean, it doesn't look that bad.
As for the team back in the garage, that was a tough moment.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look that bad. And they're going to need a considerable penalty to finish below us. Which I don't think they're going to get. Okay. 5-second penalty for Russell. Stroll's got a puncher. Hold on. Please tell me he went past. He did. Oh no, he pulled in. Right at the last moment he pulled in. I mean, that's not really what we were hoping for. We were hoping for having to withdraw, right? But okay, we're almost at the optimal pit lap.
Oh, that's a slow pit stop there.
Multiple cars crashed again.
There's a yellow flag now.
Have a little look. Please tell me that's Stroll again.
Big contact.
And for the crew watching on in the garage.
Please tell me that's Stroll again. That'd be great. Oh, hold on. They are out of the race. It was Alonso in this instance. Right, let's get you pitted. Let's get you on mediums. Oh, there's a safety car, so not that really makes that much difference to us. You just need to stay out there, right? Oh, is the safety car on yet? Don't know whether you should box or not. Safety car is on, so I guess from our point of view, it makes sense to pit, right? From your point of view, I guess the only thing we could do, hold on. If we go to strategies, not that this is going to make any difference, but if we edit your strategy to be remove you and add you. I mean, I think it's fine, right? Let's do this. Although you're going to queue up behind, so we may as well wait a lap. How far are you behind? You can pit as well. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're so rubbish. Doesn't really matter. I mean, have we been lapped? Yeah, 2 laps behind is old Beach, so. Is there another penalty? Hulkenberg's got a penalty. He's already out. So look, at some point we're going to be able to unlap ourselves, and as long as we finish this race, we're gonna not finish last. Both of our drivers are going to achieve their dreams, and we should be good. What? Wait a second. We just drove off without our tyres, didn't we? I looked away for a second. Yeah, we drove off and I left our tyres behind.
A pit stop issue.
Oh, no. Is it that we drove off without our tyres? Didn't I watch this? It didn't look that bad. Not entirely sure what happened there. Okay, we are not last. Okay, here we go. Are our pit crew even out? Here they are. Okay. We're back out. Don't know if there was an issue there. I mean, it looked like it was all right. Let's speed this up because we're all just going to be behind the safety car. At some point behind the safety car, we're going to be allowed to unlap ourselves, right? I mean, not 2 laps, but lapped cars may now overtake. There we go. Look at us. This might be the most action we see, so let's stick with this. Hold on. We'll make it look like it's exciting. Please don't crash. Please don't crash while unlapping yourself. Unfortunately, Hoffman is miles away from unlapping themselves. Oh, we almost hit the safety car. Go on, Beach. Okay, that's that. Is Hoffman coming up? Yeah, Hoffman's coming up to the back of the grid. Or the queue. But I suspect the safety car is going to come in on this lap. Is the safety car coming in? Not that it makes any difference, but is the safety car coming in? This is the bit I'm a bit annoyed about, that you can't watch this from the like the front of the race type thing. I really like a TV view which switches between things that are happening, skipping to the front and the leaders, showing the important battles, those sorts of things. That'd be really nice. Safety car didn't come in, so we are able to unlap ourselves again. Can you imagine if it stayed out there for us to go around a whole nother lap to get right to the back of the queue again? We'd be able to have an actual proper battle, but I suspect everyone else is on softs. In fact, well, maybe not. I guess it depends on what tyres they had left. Okay, safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. We're not going to have enough time to unlap ourselves and get to the back of the queue. So let's speed this up. Safety car is ending. And you can see how far away we are. How is... Hold on. We could have unlapped... We could have lapped Beach. Oh, jeez. Okay, just nobody crash, right? We'll be fine. Got a load of fuel, which we can use. I just don't know if it's worth it, because it's really just putting strain on our engine that we don't really need to put strain on, right? Let's do it, because it's a... You know what? There's no point doing it. You know what? In fact, let's just conserve it. We're not going to get a better result. It's irrelevant, right? All it's going to do is harm our engine. We don't need it. Because one of the biggest problems we're going to have this season is using parts, because they're all going to cost money and we don't have a budget. Hoffman's about to be lapped again. 7 laps to go. Oh, what have you done? Again, it doesn't really matter.
Things are okay at this stage. And then the car just goes. And
Yeah, it could be our car fault.
Sure.
As long as you're not banging into a wall. The tyres look okay. Looks like it. Let's just carry on. Let's just conserve these as well, because you can see that big dip in performance. We're back to where we should be, actually. But 3 laps to go. We just need to finish. I don't even know if that's true. If we didn't finish, would we still get the finishing 20th and 19th, right? So you've finished because it's the last lap, right? And you've just crossed the finish line. Beach. Is that true? Or maybe not. Maybe you just crossed it before. Oh no, it's the final lap, right? There we go.
Over the finish line.
There we go. So Beach is finished because he's crossed the line now. The finisher, the winner has crossed the line. So we're just on Hoffman here. No crashes, please, Hoffman. That'd be lovely. Okay, across the line we go. Let's speed this up, because all we're going to do is wait for the other cars to finish. There we go. Look, it wasn't the greatest race. You know, for us, it was kind of exactly what we expected.
Yeah, they crossed the line P11, sadly just missing out on the points.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record.
And that's win number 1 of the season, and it's sure to provide them with a real confidence boost.
Yeah. We feel like that's a
Certainly kicked
too
things off
familiar
in style
picture.
here at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Okay, nice.
Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
I mean, the only reason we
That
got
is
off the
about
bottom of
that
the
for this
grid was
weekend's
because
action here in Bahrain.
somebody else
In the next
crashed,
round, we
right?
head to the
But we'll
shores of
take
the
it.
Red Sea as Formula One returns to Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
And Jeddah is next. Okay. Let's run through this info so we can see down here our best lap was 1:38.3, 1:38.5. Far slower than everybody else. You know, down here the slowest was 1:37. Ouchie. No points for us. No points for us as a constructor, as we kind of expected. Fastest pit stop was not us. Okay. But we did get 445 grand. Huge. Huge money.